I was trapped in David's rural hometown. In desperation, I made a final distress call to Sophia. She claimed her phone had no service and demanded my bank account password first. Later, I died. When police investigated my death, she covered for the Smith family, insisting I'd chosen to stay in the mountains willingly and that the Smiths were innocent. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself back at the moment Emily asked if I'd consider staying in the mountains. This time, I smiled sweetly. Aunt Emily, of course I'll stay to care for you. I even have a city friend who adores mountain life. Should I invite her to join us? Alice, Emily cooed, gripping my hands as she gazed at the lush wilderness beyond. You city girls breathe poisoned air and drink filthy water. Our paradise here is so much better. Isn't it? I bit back my terror, feigning wide-eyed innocence. David chuckled nearby. See, Alice? I told you our hometown scenery would amaze you. When I instinctively jerked away from Emily's touch and stammered Mom. Her eyes lit up like a predator's. Oh, my sweet girl, she crowed, fingers digging into my wrist. Now we're truly family. This wasn't my trembling, broken self from before, the version starved in their cellar, stripped of dignity, reduced to breeding stock. Today marked my first arrival in Smith family village. They still played the doting boyfriend and future mother-in-law. But as Emily began listing demands, add David to your property deeds before the wedding. 3 grandchildren in 5 years, memories flooded back. Last life. I'd called Sophia that night, voicing suspicions about the Smiths. My supposed ride-or-die friend since schoolyard bullying days. The woman who'd once thrown punches when others called me an orphan. Don't be paranoid, she'd dismissed. Just obey them. Later, when local police ignored my bruises, Sophia snapped. Maybe you're the problem. During my final escape attempt, using David's phone in that stinking cellar, I'd begged, Sophia, they've taken my ID. The local cops won't help, please contact outside authorities. You have their address. After a loaded pause came her reply, my phone's out of credit. What's your payment password? That night, watching my accounts drain through cracked screen notifications, I understood true betrayal. After my phone was confiscated, my terror and David's malicious abuse made it impossible for me to conceive. Emily and David decided I should buy my freedom with money. But Sophia had already transferred all my funds. She became the final straw. Enraged by my asset transfer, they drunkenly tortured me to death. Tourists later discovered my body dumped in the mountains and alerted police. I'd hoped Emily and David would face justice. But when officers questioned Sophia about my death, she shrugged. We weren't close. Maybe she fell hiking. Confronted with my final call records to her, Sophia claimed. She just bragged about being happy, never mentioned danger. They walked free despite my repeated cries for help. I couldn't comprehend Sophia's betrayal after helping her find jobs, lending money, and always answering her calls. Yet she watched me die. Alice? Cat got your tongue? Emily's cheerful voice jolted me. Don't want to stay? Her flat tone chilled me despite the smile. And no. I do. I forced enthusiasm. Pulse racing. David's excellence clearly comes from growing up in these beautiful mountains. Our children should be raised here too. I had to maintain this charade. Any suspicion of escape plans would get me locked up immediately. They'd targeted me precisely because I was an orphan with no safety net. My disappearance in these remote hills would go unnoticed except by one person. Sophia. Emily beamed at David. Such an obedient girl. Why did you hesitate to bring her sooner? Come on, Mom. David cut her off, avoiding my gaze. I clung to his arm coquettishly. I love it here. You should have brought me earlier. Emily chuckled, cheeks flushed. Then share a room tonight. Give me grandchildren quickly. That evening, Emily confiscated my luggage like before, claiming rodent prevention. Shouldn't you check in with friends? David suggested casually. He left the room but lurked outside the window to eavesdrop. Their chronic paranoia required meticulous acting. Scrolling to Sophia's contact. I saw our last exchange, 3 days ago, informing her of this trip. She'd ignored me until I sent 999 yuan, which she instantly accepted with a terse K. Taking a breath, I dialed. Last life. I'd video called complaining about Emily's strangeness, the desolate surroundings, and primitive conditions. Sophia had gushed. That's trending rustic living. You're so lucky. Pushing me to endure. This time, she answered disinterestedly, what? I'm here. It's breathtaking. I gushed. They own multiple developed mountains, forestry, tourist spots. I emphasized the assets. Silence. Then Sophia's tight voice, real estate? Is David secretly rich? Pretending connection issues. I continued louder, and fish farms. Livestock. Thank God I quit my job to be Mrs. Smith full-time. Let her think I'm flaunting wealth. Outside the window, David thought I was talking about the Smith family's rural surroundings. Sophia's voice turned oddly wistful. Alice, you've always been so lucky. An orphan who still managed good grades. A decent career, now you've even stumbled upon a secret rich heir. Even though you're shorter, paler, and less attractive than me. How infuriating. Hearing the jealousy lacing Sophia's words, I suddenly realized she'd never truly wanted to be my friend. She'd been kind when I had nothing. Now that I thrived, she resented me. The signs had always been there, she only responded when I sent money. Sneered at my encouragement during her struggles. Our friendship had died long ago. In my past life, I wouldn't have blamed her for abandoning me during captivity. But she'd swindled my last penny instead. Emily's been wonderful, I said casually. David and I are getting married. You should come. Silence crackled through the phone. My happiness was her torment. David barged in, grinning. As expected. Gotta go. Sophia. Talk later. I hung up as she sputtered about dinner plans. Alice. David crushed me against his flannel shirt. I worried you'd hate this backwater like those gold diggers. Thank God I was wrong. I returned the hug emptily. These endless mountains offered no escape. The Smiths were predators waiting to pounce, so I'd dangle bait. That night, his hands wandered. I squirmed away whispering, your mother's next door. He yanked my nightgown, making the bedframe creak. You called her mom today. Why the act now? Blushing, I retreated across the mattress. That slipped out. I have pride too. He froze. You always let me before. Regretting this hillbilly life? And no. My smile stiffened. We can leave tomorrow if you hate it here. His offer reeked of testing loyalty. Last life. This trap earned Emily's wrath and extended our stay. I love it here. I forced myself back into his arms. Just don't want Emily thinking me easy. Later, I gripped his wrist. Use protection. Why? You wanted kids. I swallowed bile. Right. At dawn, I retched in the yard. Emily watched my heaving shoulders. Alice. You look peaky. Altitude sickness. I hid finger-shaped bruises. May I get medicine? Emily hesitated. What if it harms the baby? David patted my back. Mom? It's too soon for that. Doubled over. I gasped. Healthy mothers make smart babies. Even prenatal vitamins need planning. The Smiths exchanged glances over my trembling shoulders. Let them think me eager. Let them grow complacent. This time, their venison feast would choke them whole. David chimed in. You're right. Emily. You wouldn't understand medical stuff. I'll go with Alice to the clinic in town. Emily immediately nodded upon hearing this could help conceive smarter children. I'll call a car for you, she said. Over an hour later, David had me wait outside the pharmacy while he went in alone. I anxiously rubbed my stomach. Frustrated, he still distrusted me despite my obedient act. Let me come too, I suggested with a smile. I researched prenatal vitamins we could look for together. After brief hesitation, he agreed. Scanning the rows of medicine cabinets, I finally spotted contraceptives in a corner. Just as I reached out, David's voice startled me from behind. What are you looking for? Alice? My heart raced. Discovery would ruin everything. With sudden resolve, I pretended to stumble against the cabinet. The crash sent bottles scattering everywhere. Amid the chaos, I slipped the contraceptive packet into my sleeve. You scared me. I winced, clutching my arm while staring at the mess. The pharmacist glared until David apologized and paid 100 yen compensation. On our return, David complained irritably. If a little walk frightens you this much, you're clearly not adjusting well here. I absently fingered the hidden pills. I'll take better care of myself. His tone shifted unexpectedly. Not like your friend Sophia. Now there's a woman built for childbearing. I froze, remembering how I'd proudly shown him Sophia's glamorous photos months ago. He'd wanted to meet her. But Sophia had mocked his provincial background. To spare his feelings, I'd lied about her being busy. Actually, I smiled brightly. Sophia's been wanting to visit. Let's invite her this week. David's eyes lit up with hungry anticipation. 3 days later, Sophia arrived huffing with her counterfeit LV luggage. You didn't say it's the middle of nowhere. She snapped. Where's your rich hubby anyway? He's preparing a special welcome feast, I said, taking her bag. She instantly fluffed her hair and glossed her lips. How embarrassing to make the young master wait on me. Remember, I warned. David hates people mentioning his family money. Play along with his humble act. Sophia scoffed, eyeing my plain clothes. You're still dressing like a peasant. No wonder you need my help snagging a man. We found David waiting in a crisp linen shirt that accentuated his boyish charm. Sophia's demeanor transformed. You must be David, she purred, extending a manicured hand. I've heard so much about you. The dazed man gaped before shaking her hand. I watched coldly as the predator I'd unleashed circled her prey. This surgically enhanced beauty owed me 50 yen. 000 for her cosmetic upgrades, debt she'd dismissed with a laugh. Rich girls shouldn't nickel and dime friends. Now she'd repay every cent in collateral damage. Hello. David gazed intently at Sophia's curvaceous figure. His eyes filled with undisguised admiration. Alice has mentioned you often. Finally meeting the real deal. His quick wit soon had Sophia giggling coquettishly. The two chatted like long-lost friends, walking side by side while I trudged behind them, struggling with my backpack and suitcase. Upon arriving home, Emily's eyes lit up as she clasped Sophia's hands, fussing over her. Compared to Sophia's striking beauty enhanced by silicone curves, I resembled a withered sprout. How modest you are, Sophia remarked skeptically, eyeing the shabby house before turning to me. Alice mentioned focusing on being Mrs. Smith. Once children come along, you'll need multiple nannies. No? I served tea diligently, unfazed. Sophia's suspicion was obvious, but Emily remained enchanted by her perfect facade. Sophia dear, Emily declared. Destiny decides these matters. Whoever bears the Smith family a healthy boy will be handsomely rewarded. David tugged his mother's sleeve uncomfortably. I maintained my smile, pretending deafness. 4 days. I attended to Sophia like a servant while Emily's promises of post-childbirth rewards finally swayed her. That night, as I lay in bed drifting off, the unusual silence struck me. David wasn't snoring. After tense minutes, he crept out. Soon, muffled giggles and rhythmic bed springs echoed from Sophia's room. I could imagine David's desperate eagerness. A man like him would never normally touch such beauty. Now she was throwing herself at him, eager to replace me. Through the thin wall, Emily slept through the commotion, or pretended to. When David returned reeking of sweat, I feigned sleep as he embraced me. 4 nights afterward, he claimed exhaustion, only to sneak into Sophia's room after I slept. I pretended ignorance, relieved to avoid intimacy. Next morning, Sophia greeted me with dark circles peeking through thick makeup. Sophia's awake, Emily chirped, serving farm-fresh eggs and corn porridge. Come eat while it's hot. David avoided eye contact. Playing jealous, I remarked. Emily saved these eggs specially for you. Sophia clung to Emily's arm. You treat me like your own daughter. Emily preened. Then glared at me. Some just eat without producing. Waste of food. I smiled silently. Over a month here. Countless unprotected encounters with David. Yet my womb remained empty. Now that the curvaceous and sweet-talking Sophia Davis was around for comparison. Emily looked down on me even more. Mom? Stop talking and let's eat. David cleared his throat, shooting Emily a meaningful glance. Oblivious. Emily kept urging Sophia to eat more. These two women were both formidable. Emily was ruthless enough to kill if provoked, while Sophia would screw people over without hesitation. I wondered how Emily would react upon discovering Sophia's enhanced curves came from surgery, her rosy cheeks from blush, and even her beauty from cosmetic procedures. Or if Sophia would regret her investments upon learning the man she'd been scheming to seduce wasn't a rich heir but just a country boy who made good. By the way, Alice, when are we getting our marriage license? David suddenly asked. You said we'd register once you got along with my mom. Sophia chimed in. Alice, remember I'm your bridesmaid? I paused, observing Sophia's excessive enthusiasm and David's odd expression. A suspicion dawned on me. He'd only lasted minutes in bed yesterday but took over an hour to return. Had he been conspiring with Sophia during that time? Get me married. Transfer my property. Then stage an accident to claim everything? Any day works. I'll get my household register. I smiled. Sophia. Your vacation's ending soon. Right? Let's go back together. Sophia's wrist froze mid-air, her eyes darting to David. In truth, she'd lied about being an office secretary on leave to impress the Smith family. Forced laughter escaped her. Actually, I arranged remote work. No need to return. David brightened. Perfect. Emily nodded approval. Such a capable beauty. Any family would be lucky to have you as daughter-in-law. Her sidelong glance at me added. Unlike some idle leech living off others. I bit back retorts. David had coaxed me to quit my job and move to his hometown. Emily insisted I rest and fatten up. Now they mocked me as a parasite while coveting my assets. Mom? David interrupted. Stop talking with food in your mouth. David. Mind your manners. Sophia scolded before clinging to Emily's arm. Auntie. Let me keep you company here. Emily patted Sophia's abdomen meaningfully. Good. My useless son's no help anyway. Sophia turned to me. You go ahead. Alice. We'll wait here. It's just a 2-day trip anyway. I smiled sweetly. Of course. Enjoy your rest. My eyes met David's. Normally he'd insist on accompanying me to retrieve documents. But Sophia's presence distracted him. Emily's gaze shifted between them. Actually, I've never seen the city. David stays with Sophia. I'll go with Alice. I nearly laughed. They wanted both my wealth and Sophia's body. David straightened excitedly, exchanging looks with Sophia. We'll await your return. Don't worry, I assured. I'll take good care of Auntie. Without Emily, I couldn't escape this lawless mountain region. Once in the city, her rural tyranny meant nothing. That night as I packed, David eyed my luggage suspiciously. Why so much stuff? I redirected. Unpacking cosmetics. Just storing valuables to avoid dust. My heart ached leaving behind luxury items bought for this charade. Alice. David warned. Stay glued to Mom in the city. She might get lost. David instructed me. It's the perfect timing to show Mom our new place. She'll be moving in eventually anyway. In our previous life, I'd been particularly upset when David suggested his mother live in the house I'd purchased. I'd worked tirelessly to buy that 2-bedroom cottage meant for a young family with children. Her presence would only make me feel constrained. So I'd refused. His face darkened instantly. He accused me of being ungrateful, claiming I'd never intended to become part of the Smith family. For years afterward, he'd used that rejection to justify every cruel act. Wonderful idea. I agreed brightly this time. Having your mother here means we can both take care of you properly. David squeezed my hand contentedly. Don't worry, son. Emily squinted at her ancient flip phone. Already dialing. Alice and I will be back with the paperwork before sunset. Your uncle's bringing the motorcycle at 4 a.m. sharp. She kept muttering logistics 2 hours down the mountain path. Transferring to the county van. Then the long-distance bus. I fought to keep my composure. Last time, I'd learned the hard way that escape attempts were futile. When I'd tried calling for help using Emily's phone, villagers hung up immediately. My stolen motorcycle dash ended in terror halfway down the treacherous switchbacks, no guardrails. Bridges narrower than tire tracks. They'd beaten me bloody for a month after that. Alice? You're pale. David waved his hand before my dazed eyes. Emily snorted. Heading for the door. Get some rest. Big day tomorrow. Once alone. David grew suspicious. You're not jealous of Sophia, are you? I disentangled my hand gently. Having Sophia stay? I'd love her to remain permanently. Truth rang through my words. His tension eased. Good. Mom means well. You know. That night. He lingered in my room. Fingers tugging at my nightgown. Imagine a little one running around. He murmured against my neck. You tending our home while I provide. I stiffened. Not tonight. We need sleep. Plenty of time to nap on the bus. He insisted. Pinning my wrists. The sudden cough from Sophia's room made him freeze. After tense moments, he rolled away grumbling. Fine. But you're still my future wife. If I don't spoil you, who else would I spoil? I breathed a sigh of relief. Sophia had always been intensely possessive. As kids, she'd only allowed me to have her as my sole friend. When we shopped together, if we both liked the same outfit, only she could wear it, I was forbidden to match her. Later, whenever she lingered her gaze on any boy, I'd automatically distance myself from them. Even now, knowing I was about to marry David, Sophia still believed that if she wanted him, I'd willingly step aside to let her have David all to herself. The next day, after a bumpy journey, I finally stood on the bustling city streets. The blazing sun hung overhead. Damn, so this is the big city. Look at those skyscrapers. Cars. All these people. Emily crossed her arms, marveling at everything. I lugged a bag of boiled eggs, a plastic sack of crushed cucumbers, plus the folding stool and burlap sack Emily had insisted on bringing, exhausted and sweaty, yet bursting with overwhelming joy. To Emily, I'd only been gone a month. But in my reality, it had been years. Years of darkness and torment in those suffocating mountains where no struggle could break free. Now I'd escaped. I nearly dropped everything to call the police on David and his mother. But instantly, I knew it was impossible. No evidence. I couldn't claim to be reborn or predict their future crimes without being labeled insane. My word alone wouldn't convict them. And Sophia hadn't yet faced her reckoning. I couldn't rush. Fleeing now would leave loose ends. If David and Emily realized I'd tricked them, they'd retaliate viciously. Alone. Like in my past life. Even if someone noticed I'd been kidnapped or vanished, no one would care. No justice for me. And Sophia's cunning might even unite them against me again. You can't stay vigilant forever against predators. I wiped sweat from my brow with a rough swipe. Only I could save myself. Even a child knows weeds regrow unless uprooted. I had to redirect David and Emily's malice toward Sophia. Let them tear each other apart. Aunt Emily, can I buy us some iced drinks? I rasped, pleadingly eyeing the beverage shop. What's there to buy? Emily glared. We have cucumbers. I stared at the pulpy vegetables mixed with littered sunflower seed shells and tissues. Nausea rising. They're ruined, I mumbled. Eat eggs. She snapped, shoving a boiled egg split by her dirt-caked nails. You're spending my son's money already? No wastefulness before you're even married. The sulfurous stench hit me, I gagged. Emily recoiled in disgust. Then suddenly brightened. Alice Johnson. How long has it been since your last unlucky days? Emily chirped with barely concealed glee. Unlucky days? I pressed a hand to my chest. Tears streaming down my face from the cramps. She means your period. Emily practically vibrated with excitement. I froze mid-sentence. According to my previous life's timeline, my cycle should have started weeks ago. The realization hit me like ice water. Could I be? Congratulations. It must be a boy. David's such a stud. Perfect timing for big city doctors to check my grandson. Emily crowed, already mentally spending my non-existent pregnancy bonus. I steadied myself against the subway pole. This made no sense in my past life. David's constant harassment never resulted in pregnancy. Now that he'd barely touched me in months. Stress delay. I told myself firmly. Just stress. Grab your household register and let's get you two married. Emily snatched my shopping bags. Already planning. We'll skip the wedding until the baby's moon celebration, double happiness. I remained silent. A new plan crystallizing. When we arrived at my 2-bedroom apartment an hour later, Emily wrinkled her nose. This pigeon coop? Our country villa's bathroom is bigger. Of course it can't compare to your estate. I simpered, watching with growing unease as she flopped onto my couch and pulled sunflower seeds from the coffee table drawer, a stash I'd never placed there. Retreating to my bedroom, I realized David must have been giving Emily virtual tours of what he considered his future property. From my closet's secret compartment, I retrieved the household register. Without hesitation, I tossed it out the window into the bushes below. What are you doing? Emily materialized behind me, airing out mustiness. I said blandly. Her eyes narrowed. Since we're family now, you're sure you've got no other relatives? I smiled sweetly. Just Sophia Davis. Emily relaxed. That's Sophia's good stock. Wide hips for sons. Her family breeds boys like rabbits. I confided. That internet-famous temple's fake monk said she'll birth twin boys. In truth, those social media monks praised anyone wearing designer labels. When I'd called out their scam, they'd cursed me with worthless daughters. Sophia had preened for weeks about her empress fertility, as Emily prattled about royal bloodlines. I mentally calculated how fast I could sell this apartment through my discreet agent. David's family would never touch my next home. All she ever talked about was how she'd definitely bear a son to keep her husband devoted. What? You can only have a daughter? Emily dropped the sunflower seeds she'd been snacking on. Shock written across her face. David never mentioned this. I blinked innocently. David says gender doesn't matter. Since he doesn't care, I didn't bring it up. This won't do. Emily's eyes darted to my stomach before she started spitting superstitiously. Bad juju. All lies. It must be a boy. Has to be a boy. The irony wasn't lost on me. We can't find the household registry. Might need to get a replacement document from the police station. It's too late to finish today, we'll have to stay overnight. Why's everything so complicated here? Emily scrutinized me head to toe. I shrugged. Big cities run on rules. Not like our hometown where favors get things done. Staying was non-negotiable, my plans required time. Though Emily's suspicion simmered beneath forced normalcy. She couldn't pinpoint what felt off. Late that night, hushed whispers drifted from the guest bedroom, pressing my ear to the door. I caught fragments. Sophia, son, hurry, trust me, David was probably enjoying his freedom without me around. Meanwhile, my phone glowed with messages from the realtor. The fire sale price had drawn 3 buyers, newlyweds needing a starter home, an elderly widow lowballing, and a shady property scalper with mob ties. The realtor's text apologized. The young couple's your best bet, they'll cherish it. The widow wants the furniture removed. The scalper, he's management's relative. Sorry. We have to list him. Can the scalper close tomorrow morning? I typed. After hesitation, he can. But mess. Johnson, he'll gut it for slum housing. Some believe destroying original layouts curses former owners. 9 a.m. at the county office. I need this done. My thumb hovered over send before committing. The bedside photo caught my eye, a David and I smiling before that mountain peak. The photographer had gushed, "This summit breaks toxic bonds and blesses true love. You two will last forever." True enough. David proposed days later. "Your family now. Alice," he'd whispered, holding me close. "Quit your job. Let's build our life back home." Love drunk. I'd offered to add his name to the deed. Certain I'd found my place. How naive, that home became my coffin. Dawn revealed Emily's redecorating, sculpted branches hacked. Art sculptures shattered. Muddy footprints defiling carpets. My reminder about indoor shoes had been ignored. Peering through balcony slats, I watched her animatedly gossiping with neighborhood ladies, their eyes occasionally flicking upward. Grabbing sunglasses and a nondescript jacket, I slipped out through the adjacent building's exit. The property deed burned in my bag as I hailed a cab. Time to bury the past before it buried me. I hailed a cab and rushed like crazy, barely making it to the service center before closing. The agent shifted nervously by the entrance beside Mr. Wang in a black jacket. The stocky man immediately locked eyes with me when I entered, while the agent kept anxiously scanning the crowd. "Sorry I'm late." I pulled out my documents. "Let's get this done quickly." The agent glanced at me, then cowered toward Mr. Wang. "Miss Smith, we should begin. TCH. That outfit of yours." "Miss Smith." Mr. Wang spoke with a regional twang, his chubby face all smiles that somehow felt sinister. "Did you piss off the wrong people? Selling your property for safety?" The agent froze. "Mr. Wang's just joking. Right, Miss Smith?" I lowered my sunglasses to meet his gaze. "What's wrong? Can't handle some country grandma?" Mr. Wang. "But, humph." Mr. Wang clicked his tongue. "Straight shooter. Aren't you?" "Not like I'm scared." The agent sputtered. "Miss Smith, Mr. Wang, you." I hummed in acknowledgement and signed the contract. Mr. Wang chuckled. Efficient as hell. After finalizing the paperwork and receiving the wire transfer, I stared at the bank balance on my phone. Even money needs a living spender. Losing 6 figures? Small price. Pleasure doing business. I adjusted my sunglasses and mask. 3 more days in the house. Mr. Wang. "Then it's yours." He grunted. "Miss Smith. My associates do side jobs." He slipped me a business card with a wink. Affordable. Discreet. I pocketed it. Perfect timing. Fantastic. Price isn't an issue. Later at the hospital, my hands trembled holding the blood test results. Negative for pregnancy. The relief made me lightheaded. I'd been terrified of being tied to those two. Calming myself, I formed a plan. Some risks were better outsourced. If things went south, plausible deniability. From the back seat, I dialed the number on Mr. Wang's card. After outlining my needs, the gruff voice assured me our actors could win Oscars. I wired a hefty deposit immediately. Whatever the cost, this had to be flawless. Smith Family Village. David. "Stop," Sophia giggled breathlessly. Her smooth forearm pressed against David's chest. "You're awful, acting like this after Alice left." David flipped them over, settling Sophia on his lap. "You hate it?" Her laughter made his gaze darken. "I just wish I had Alice's luck." She pouted. "Marrying into your family." David hesitated. "Well, our families actually, pride, and the thrill of having this beauty fawn over him, stopped the confession. Let her keep the fantasy." Dingling. Sophia answered breathlessly. "The deeds transferred? Which property?" David's grip tightened on her waist. "No." Sophia pouted. "My house isn't in that neighborhood." "What's your problem?" "It's just a few $1 million property." "Hey. I'll report you. You hear me? This outfit alone costs more than your pathetic life." Sophia slammed her phone down, turning to find David staring intently. "What?" David smiled tenderly. "Nothing. Just realized how adorable you look when you're angry." Sophia rubbed her nose. That idiot kept calling the wrong number and being rude, so David wrapped his arms around her waist. You don't need to marry into wealth because you are the wealth. Sophia glanced at her installment-paid outfit and knockoff designer shoes, tilting her chin up. Obviously. Two schemers, each coveting what the other possessed, told their first lie. This lie would snowball, demanding countless more to sustain it. In the two-bedroom apartment, where were you? Emily demanded from the couch, eyes drilling into me. You vanished this morning. Your phone's dead. I blinked, holding up household registration documents. Auntie, weren't we getting these? Emily faltered. Well, by the way. I smiled sweetly. Didn't you want me checked at the hospital? I booked us with this amazing OB-GYN. My hand rested on my stomach, radiating maternal bliss. That's unnecessary expenses. Emily eyed my abdomen with disgust, already convinced it housed a daughter. Better safe than sorry, I insisted. Besides, what if it's a boy? After prolonged hesitation, Emily gritted out. Fine. Maybe that monk was full of crap. Our taxi wound through streets before stopping at a massive medical complex. Emily gaped at the building, clutching her purse. This fancy place must cost fortune. Which hospital is this? I ignored the United Dawn Medical Center signage. City General. In reality, it was one of Brother Wang's shady clinics staffed by quack doctors trained in medical fraud. Hurry, Auntie. We'll miss our slot. Ascending stairs, I accidentally tripped, rupturing the hidden blood pouch between my thighs. Crimson immediately soaked through my clothes. Emily shrieked, scrambling backward. Careless girl. You'll kill my grandson. Prepositioned medical staff swarmed in, loading me onto a gurney while I moaned theatrically. Emily got herded upstairs as they wheeled me to surgery. The chief physician entered, eyes glued to my bag. Dr. Smith. I calmly extracted thick cash stacks. Alice. He pocketed the bills greedily. Brother Wang's requests get VIP treatment. Script remembered? Absolutely. He practically salivated over the money. Post-examination. The doctor delivered his rehearsed verdict. Emily's face purpled with rage. Quacks. A simple fall made her barren? Adjusting glasses. The physician feigned solemnity. Alice's fragile constitution couldn't sustain the female fetus. Our advanced imaging confirms permanent reproductive damage. Nonsense. Emily's outrage faltered upon hearing female fetus. Can't she recover? Impossible. He brandished fabricated scans. See these blocked pathways? Total infertility. Emily squinted helplessly at the charts. I can't read these. My son should see this. The doctor swiftly collected the medical report and said coldly, you just need to know you can never get pregnant again. The rest doesn't concern you. Emily pondered for a moment. I need to call my son first. As she left the room, she muttered under her breath. Could it be true? That Alice girl was only meant to have one daughter. Now that the child's gone, she really can't bear any more. Returning later, she resumed her combative demeanor. Pa. My son David says you're responsible since it happened here. You'd better compensate us or I'm not leaving. The doctor finally looked up, amusement flickering in his eyes. Emily faltered under his gaze. What? You still owe us, after theatrically making a call and stalling? The doctor conceded. We'll offer $5,000 humanitarian compensation. But you must sign an NDA. We're not obligated to pay anything. And we can't have other patients causing scenes. Emily's eyes gleamed as she signed. Meanwhile, I lay in my hospital bed listening to Sophia's saccharine condolences through the phone. Oh, Alice. Don't be sad. You're what matters most. Children are just fate's whims. I sighed. You know how much David wanted this baby. I guess I'll just recover and try again. After an intentional pause, Sophia said flatly. You don't know yet. Do you? You can never have children. Then she feigned distress. Oh no. I shouldn't have said that. David made me promise not to tell. Alice. I'm so sorry. It's fine though, your marriage doesn't need kids. Her voice dripped with barely concealed schadenfreude before the line went dead mid-apology. David must have snatched her phone. I stared blankly out the window. The final act was approaching. Let's go. Emily marched in. Her face impassive. The baby's gone. Time to recuperate at home. Clutching my abdomen, I whimpered. My stomach still hurts. Can't I stay a few more days? Staying costs money. She snapped. No wheelchair either. Walk slowly. I obediently struggled upright, clutching my belly with each labored step. Emily glared at my pained whimpers. Useless. Well? My son's smitten, he'll marry you even if you're carrying a corpse. As we left, she demanded. Bring your property deeds to transfer everything to David after registering your marriage. Looking up tearfully, I asked. Aunt Emily. Sophia told me I'm infertile. Is it true? She froze mid-stride. Well, you'd find out eventually. I suddenly wailed. So it's true. What woman can't bear children? I'm worthless. Can't even continue the Smith family line. A flicker of pity crossed Emily's face. Alice. I'm not fit to marry David. Unworthy of the Smith family registry. My tears streamed down pale cheeks. I'm barren. You were right, Sophia's healthier. Prettier. Wittier. She deserves. Now Alice. You're not that bad, Emily began uncertainly before her phone rang. She stepped aside for an urgent call. Fragments like my son and replace her carrying through the air. I waited patiently, knowing the seed had been planted. 10 minutes later, Emily returned with a composed expression. Alice, she said, there's no need to stress. Get married whenever you want. We won't hold your infertility against you. I feigned gratitude. Really? Emily? You and David won't resent me? Of course not. Emily squinted. You're in no condition to travel. Rest at home and have David bring the documents to finalize the city registration. I rushed to clasp her hands. Emily. I never dreamed you'd still accept me. I'll take good care of myself until David arrives. The Smith family will never regret this kindness. Emily's face radiated smug satisfaction. In her mind, a childless woman was as worthless as a hen that couldn't lay eggs. She believed I'd cling desperately to their family, after all. Who else would want damaged goods? The thought of me escaping their control never crossed her mind. Enough. Emily patted my hand. I need to check on David's poor handling of the poultry. The lie barely concealed her true agenda, plotting how to drain my bank accounts now that my womb held no value. Tears welled in my eyes. Please remind David to hurry. I'll be waiting. Rest often, she advised. Skip those expensive supplements, rice porridge is all you need. Her parting smile said it all, the house was theirs. And I'd never slip their leash. The moment Emily left, I texted David, I'm unworthy of you. This is goodbye. Thank you for everything. I activated call blocking and fled to a coastal town 500 miles away. 3 weeks later, Mr. Wong called. Miss Alice? Your nuisance husband offered $3,000 for your location. I transferred $6,000. Pleasure doing business. He chuckled. Scrolling through blocked messages, I found David's frantic pleas, Alice. Who are those people in our house? Why do they claim you sold it? Stop hiding. I'll help you through this crisis. At least answer Sophia. She's starving herself over you. Sophia's messages followed, who needs kids? I'll make my future sons call you auntie. Then your money won't go to waste. Alice, did your manners get aborted too? I'm trying to help. I unblocked Sophia. Within minutes, her call exploded, Alice. Your little vanishing act is pathetic. Can't breed. So you torture us instead? David and Emily's voices chimed in, this immaturity has gone too far. A proper wife considers her family. Their synchronized scolding lasted precisely 10 minutes before trailing into uneasy silence. Hello? Say something. What's with the silent treatment? I spoke slowly. Finished? Sophia froze for a long moment. You. What's this attitude? We care about you. And this is how you repay us? Emily chimed in. Exactly. Alice. You're being unreasonable. This isn't how a proper daughter-in-law behaves. I hummed. Then let Sophia become your daughter-in-law instead. Enough nonsense. David interjected suddenly. Alice. Tell us where you are. Let's talk face to face. Sophia seemed to realize they could only vent frustration without knowing my location. Their words meant nothing if they couldn't reach me. Why yes. Alice, where are you? Her aggression deflated. I'm unworthy of being part of the Smith family. I stated flatly. Clearly. I've accumulated too much bad karma. That's why I've sold my properties and cars to donate everything before becoming a nun. All three fell silent. Alice. How could you make such huge decisions without consulting us? David snapped. Then hastily added. About becoming a nun. You're supposed to be my bride. Come home so we can discuss this properly. I sighed mournfully. David. I've always known you and Aunt Emily preferred Sophia. Let her take my place. I'll pray for your happiness. Don't look for me. I'm not good enough. You all deserve better. The syrupy lies turned my stomach. Yet this was precisely the pathetic act they expected from me. Emily and David rushed to reassure my shattered self-esteem while Sophia grew suspicious. Half an hour after hanging up, my phone rang again. Sophia? I answered cheerfully. Alice. Came her hissed whisper. Clearly sneaking outside. This isn't about infertility. Someone as stubborn as you wouldn't collapse over that. What's your game? I don't understand. I feigned confusion. Aren't you thrilled about becoming Mrs. Smith? Considering you're already pregnant and all. She choked. Alice, your secret Twitter account mentioned heaven sent luck 3 weeks ago. My tone sharpened. Funny how the algorithm recommended someone I might know. Imagine my surprise seeing your burner account. I'm doing this for you. Sophia rallied. Since you can't carry heirs. Better me than some stranger. We're childhood friends, shouldn't we share the Smith family's mountains? Forests. And fortune? I barked laughter. Share? You mean monopolize. You're really giving up? She challenged. The Alice who swore to marry David at all costs? Fate disagrees. My voice dripped false sorrow. Such wealth should stay with its rightful owner. Whatever scheme you're plotting, you've lost. Her words vibrated with barely contained spite. I've outplayed you. So this rivalry was one-sided? I mused. When I succeeded, you seethed. When I struggled, you bombarded me with your perfect life updates, not comfort. But salt and wounds to fuel your superiority. Sophia abandoned pretense. Of course. You waltzed into top universities while I scraped through community college. Landed dream jobs while I became your company's glorified receptionist. Even David, rich, gentle, perfection, chose a parentless orphan over me. Her jealousy erupted. I starved for beauty treatments. Mastered sucking up to superiors. Worked 10 times harder. Yet life kept handing you prizes. Well, not this time. Stay gone. Alice. Let's see how long your pride lasts. I chuckled. Sure thing. Sophia. You can have this perfect man. The lovely mother-in-law. These endless mountains. And the winding mountain trails. I hung up and created a Twitter account specifically to follow Sophia's private profile. She posted idyllic mountain landscapes and elegant selfies in linen dresses, basking in her followers' admiration. One day, she suddenly followed me back and DM'd, Alice. I know it's you. Have you seen my ID card? Emily claims it's missing. Also, why does David seem so off lately? Is he hiding something? And Emily's controlling everything I eat and drink. Oh well. She means it kindly. Emily says we'll get married once the baby's born. Sorry not sorry. But I'm definitely becoming Mrs. Smith. I smiled without replying. David was a master manipulator. He'd keep feeding Sophia's fantasy until the mask slipped. Just like when he pretended to cherish me to lure me to his hometown. A month passed without harassment from David or Emily. They knew better than to bother a barren, frail woman when they had a healthy, pregnant beauty. Exactly as I'd planned. Sophia's saccharine daily posts bored me to tears. Ring ring, Mr. One called again. Missy. Heard that deadbeat hubby knocked up some chick. You know. Wang's got connections, could make that problem disappear. Eh? I laughed. No need. The baby's her blessing. Oh ho. Classy move. He hung up when realizing no profit. This one character truly had tentacles everywhere, knew our tangled history yet still tried to monetize it. Days later. Sophia's Twitter went silent. She called me at midnight. Voice trembling, Alice, David hit me. He looked possessed. I refused to eat Emily's food and he wasn't supposed to be like this. I hummed. Violence is his love language. Maybe self-reflect? There must be a reason he targeted you. Parroting her own words from our past life back at her. She stammered. Can you wire me money? I want to visit my parents. They haven't seen me, where's your own cash? I don't know. Emily's vanished too. Maybe lost somewhere, I scoffed. Too risky to travel pregnant. Emily won't allow it. Silence. She'd clearly tried escaping already. Alice. Come take care of me? She pleaded suddenly. I'm so lonely. Even if you don't marry David. We're friends. Keep me company? I nearly laughed. Return to that hell after escaping? Sophia. You fought for this blessing. Enjoy every moment. Click. 2 weeks later. Another midnight call, Alice. You liar. David confessed he's no trust fund baby. These mountains aren't his. The orchards and timberlands either. You tricked me. You bitch. I gasped theatrically. Such stress harms the baby. Dear. They're keeping me prisoner. This is illegal confinement. Just wait till I escape. I giggled and hung up. In Smith Family Village. Sophia lay sprawled on dirt floors. Hair matted. Face swollen purple. David waved her phone. Snarling at plastic surgery records, you fucking waited till now to tell me your factory, maid? Her cracked whisper barely escaped split lips. Give me back my phone, Emily glared coldly. Sophia. How is this any different from fraud? If I'd known you were just a gold-digging liar, I'd never have let you into our family. Hatred burned in Sophia's eyes. You two bitches deceived me first. Once I get out of here, I'll have you both arrested. Emily's face hardened. She strode forward and slapped Sophia twice across the face. You dare act up when I haven't even finished training you? Sophia crumpled into hysterical sobs. Never having endured such humiliation. Rot in hell. And Alice too. This was all your conspiracy. David rose abruptly, yanking Sophia's hair to force eye contact. You dare complain? You're the one who told her she's infertile and drove her to become a nun. Emily nodded furiously. Exactly. Our sweet Alice would still be here if not for your scheming. Me? Sophia barked bitter laughter. Now I'm the villain? She jabbed a finger at David. You animal. You refused condoms the night she got pregnant. Whirling on Emily. She sneered. And you old woman. Grinning like a dried chrysanthemum when you thought I carried your grandson. You both discarded Alice when she became useless. Now you want me to pay? Sophia's voice turned shrill. Better pamper me like royalty. Or kiss your precious heir goodbye. But Sophia miscalculated. This wasn't the civilized city. In these mountains where locals ruled supreme. Her tantrums meant nothing. Enough. David roared. Pummeling her face. You took Alice from us. Now you'll pay what she owed us. Every penny. Emily chimed in. Make your family wire money. David threatened. Raising his fist. Or else. I'm broke. Sophia wailed between blows. Everything was fake. I'm drowning in loans and installments. Desperate. She thought of Alice. That bitch knew. She set me up and ran. Rain tapped my cottage window in Dolly. My peaceful days feeding B&B cats felt surreal until Sophia's call came from David's number. They'd confiscated her phone. Alice. Save me. Sophia rasped. Local cops won't help. Send money or they'll kill me. Karma tasted sweet. In our past life when I begged her to call police, she'd mocked, relax. Country air's good for pregnancy moods. Now Sophia hissed. They want blood. Just $10K. Sorry. I smiled. My phone's about to get cut off. Alice. You have to, the line rustled. David's voice replaced hers. Don't mind Sophia's pregnancy hormones. My nails dug into palms at that hated voice. The mountains echoed with poetic justice. Are you okay? I asked with feigned tenderness. Sophia seems really upset. You should take better care of her. David remained silent for a moment before tentatively asking. Is there really no chance for us anymore? I took a deep breath, suppressing the urge to call him a fucking idiot. The woman carrying his child stood right beside him. Yet he dared suggest reconciling with me. Some people never changed. Focus on Sophia. She's my best friend. After all. I hung up without waiting for a response. I only maintained contact to confirm my final suspicion. Though thankfully, the wait wouldn't be long. Just 1 month. The incident happened during a village banquet. David and Emily got drunk while villagers mocked me for being barren and disobedient, claiming the Smith family couldn't control their women. That night became my worst beating. But Sophia was different. She was pregnant. Though she'd tried escaping like I did in my past life. Even called the police like I had. I couldn't predict the outcome. Time flew. On the fateful night, I tossed restlessly. Memories flooding back, Emily's abuse. David's fists. The suffocating mountains trapping me. Dawn came with a jangling phone call from 911. The officer's detached voice informed me, last night. After enduring insults from the Smiths, Sophia stabbed them both. Later, she grabbed a cleaver, breaking into homes of villagers who'd thwarted her escape attempts. 3 dead. 7 injured. When police arrived, Sophia stood drenched in blood. Hysterical yet eerily strong. Requiring multiple officers to restrain her. Sophia has confessed to the murders. We're contacting you to verify if the Smiths abused her. The cop's monotone contrasted with my racing thoughts. This timeline's worst scenario wasn't Sophia's imprisonment but her scorched earth vengeance. Miss Johnson? The officer prompted impatiently. I remembered how Sophia had coldly denied knowing me during my past life police inquiries, leaving me isolated. Now she'd taste that betrayal. Yet protecting her would let the Smiths sympathizers spin their victim narrative again. Online fundraisers already supported the innocent villagers. The truth lived only in me. David and Emily deserved punishment. But Sophia's rampage overshadowed their crimes. Letting her face consequences alone felt just, yet replicated the cycle. My hesitation lasted seconds too long. I never witnessed any abuse. I finally said, hearing my past life self echo through the lie. Sophia always seemed unstable. The words tasted bitter. But survival required playing the long game. There'd be other chances to expose the Smiths alive. Unlike Sophia, who'd chosen martyrdom. I hung up, watching sunrise gild the mountains. Some battles couldn't be won with cleavers or confessions. But as the village's shocked whispers spread, I smiled. Let them wonder. Let them fear. The real reckoning would come when least expected. Miss Alice Johnson. Please tell the truth. The police officer on the phone spoke with meaningful emphasis. This case has significant public impact. Your every word matters. The Smith family village residents are innocent. You understand? I paused. David and Emily treated her. Not well. Sophia didn't contact me often. But mentioned David and Emily forbade her from leaving. Officer. You should check her social media records. Ultimately, I decided to reveal the truth. Sophia loved documenting everything, not just on social media. She must have complained about the Smiths to others too. And I wasn't doing this for her. This was for myself. David, Emily, and those villagers were the real perpetrators. Sophia would get her deserved punishment. But I refused to let the Smiths and their accomplices keep their false reputations. Their acts of confinement and abuse needed public exposure. This was a story of two villains tearing each other apart. Not another Alice Johnson tragedy. Very well. Miss Alice Johnson. We'll need your formal statement. I had to return. Upon arrival, the officer informed me David and Emily had succumbed to their injuries. The three villagers Sophia stabbed all survived resuscitation. Despite this, the case's societal damage remained severe. Sophia would likely spend her life in prison, if not face execution. Sophia's trial concluded. The lost pregnancy didn't prevent her death sentence with reprieve. In court, she confessed to all murders while attempting to implicate me. But she chose the Smiths herself. She pursued David first. That pregnancy certainly wasn't my doing. However, she raged. My innocence stood firm. After sentencing, I resumed my nomadic life. Months later, during a lakeside stroll, my phone rang. Brother Wang, unseen for ages, was calling. I blinked. With David gone, what could he want? Hey, it's Wang here. I chuckled. Brother Wang. Long time. What brings this call? Girl, you handled things flawlessly. Not a single trace. His booming voice vibrated with excitement. Brilliant. Want to work for me? Long silence. Girl? His laughter persisted. Relax. Wang won't talk, my evidence is thin anyway. I, massaging my temples, aware he'd pieced something together. Brother Wang. I don't follow. Been resting in Dolly lately. No time for return trips. I wasn't worried about him reporting, no benefit there. Ah, Wang sighed dramatically. Such wasted talent. My people are clumsy fools compared to you. How about consulting for me? I see great potential. Smiling, I hung up. Survival, forged wisdom does shine bright. Removing the SIM card, I bent it sharply and hurled it into the lake. As the last relic of my past life sank, unprecedented lightness enveloped me. My final shred of fear drowned with that tiny plastic fragment. Everything is a fresh start. Sunny skies today. After Sophia was executed by firing squad, the case has only gained more public attention. If David and Emily hadn't died, their expressions would have been priceless, seeing so many people cursing them. The Smith family has become infamous too. Many are inquiring about me, trying to dig up the buried secrets. I've moved to a new city, planning to find different work and settle down. Made new friends too. Those events are finally fading into the distance. For a long time now, I haven't thought about any of it. Sunny skies today. Peace and joy. Smooth sailing in all things.